mark a line on each of those. Same thing for your other side. Yeah, that's really not making sense here. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Kreg Craftsman YouTube channel. So today we are building the drawers for this kitchen cabinet project that we're working on, and let me just kind of voice over here what I'm doing at the start, because it wasn't very clear as I'm going back and editing this video as to what I'm trying to explain here. So let me just explain it to you now. Let's jump back into it. So what I've done here is taken some scrap 3/4 inch pieces of plywood and cut them to fit in the back side of the cabinet. And then I am marking on them the face frame where it hits horizontally and vertically on each of these pieces. And this is so that I have a reference point, so I know where to put the mounting brackets for the drawer slides, which I'm going to show you how to do here. So let's get to that. Alright, so to figure out the distance from our lines to mark and drill these holes, I'm going to take the drawer slide, set it up on a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I'm going to take another scrap piece of plywood and set that there. Now, we're just going to take and mark the center of each of these pegs. So now that we have that marked, we're then going to draw a line on this 1/4 inch plywood. So that line there represents, so because these plastic pieces, see the piece, this bottom piece goes below this, we have to set this up on a block, mark our centers, then mark the block so we know that we're referencing from the metal part of the drawer slide, not the plastic mounting part. So now we have this distance here, which is an 1/8 inch, and then an 1 inch and 5/16. So on each of these, we're going to take and mark 1/8 inch, and then 1 inch and 5/16. And that is up from our face frame mark, which is where the bottom of this rests. So we are referencing off of the bottom side of the drawer slide. So I'm going to take that and mark it on each of the lines here. So now we have these lines here, and these are where we're going to drill the holes height-wise. Now we have to figure out the horizontal distance of where we're going to place these holes. And the cool thing about this is you don't have to be super accurate to get it square, because this can move, I mean, a lot. You have like an inch room for error here. What I like to do is take this plastic piece, just get it so the pegs are in about the center, then I'll put it onto the drawer slide, and I'll take my tape measure, and I'm just kind of eyeballing to the edge of the drawer slide, and we got about 5/8. So let me show you here. I'm measuring to the outside of this, from the outside of this to the center of this, and seeing approximately what I have, and it looks to be about 5/8. So we're then going to mark 5/8 from our face frame line, because that is again where the drawer slide mounts to, and we'll put a mark there. So now we can go along here and mark right where all of our holes need to be drilled. Alright, so we've got marked on here all the holes we need to drill. We're going to go over to the drill press and drill those out. These look like they're going to be a 3/8 inch hole, maybe a hair less. We'll find the right drill bit. You don't need these to go in super tight to where you have to jam it in there, but you also don't want it to be too loose that you're going to have any play in it. These brackets do have screw holes on the back. Once we get the slides installed and everything is working good, I'll come back and put these 2 screws in. But for now, we're just going to rest it in there, make sure everything's going to work good. It's not going to go anywhere because of these 2 tabs right here, but those screws just give it extra strength and holding power. Because while this is, yeah, it's just a plastic piece, these are pretty strong. They say they're rated for, I think, 80 pounds. So, I mean, if you're putting a lot of heavy duty stuff in a drawer, you may want to just mount these on the side of your cabinets, because there are holes to do that. But for a kitchen cabinet that's holding, you know, some pots and stuff like that, you're not going to exceed 80 pounds. 80 pounds is a lot of weight that you would be putting in there. So let's head over to the drill press, drill these, then we'll install it on the cabinet and put the drawer slides on, then we'll put the drawers on. So now that I've got both of the back pieces marked, I'm going to use on the drill press an 11/32 drill bit to drill all the holes. Alright, so we got all the holes drilled. We're going to go ahead and install these onto the cabinet. We're going to place the drawer slides in it, fasten those to the cabinet on the face frame, and then we're going to measure for the drawer boxes and start cutting out those pieces. So let's go install these on the cabinet. So we got the cabinet up on the workbench with the back facing down, and so these pieces go in here like this, tight to the bottom. I'm going to come back with the stapler and lock these in here, and also attach it to our 1/4 inch back. Alright, so you can see now we've got these installed. So we're going to put our plastic pieces in, then slide all the drawer slides in and screw them to the face frame. So now the drawer slide just slides into the back there, connects with that, and we're going to leave it a 1/16 set in from the face frame, and we'll screw it in, and then we'll put 2 screws, and then we'll measure for the drawers. Now we got the slides installed, we're going to measure for our drawer box, and here's how we're going to do that. So first thing we're going to do is measure we're going to pull from the outside of this part of the slide and measure to the same point on this, which gives us 21 and 13. I'm going to add a 16 just so we got a 32nd of play on each side, so we're going to go to 21 and 7/8. That should be the same width on all these. So now we know the measurement for our front and back pieces of the drawers, because those will sit inside of our outer pieces. So 21 and 7/8, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So 21 and 7/8 is going to be the inside width of the drawer. Now the length of these drawers, and these are 21-inch drawer slides, so we're going to make the sides 21 inches. Now the face frame height varies for each of these. So the bottom of the drawer bottom rests on this piece here. And that drawer bottom is going to be set up into the drawer box itself a 1/2 inch. So what we're going to do is just measure up from here to here. We got 9 inches. So we're going to make the height of that drawer 9 inches, and that'll give us a 1/2 inch gap here by the time it sits down. By the time it sits down on the slide here. So we'll make the bottom one 9 inches tall, the middle one 7 inches, and our top drawer will be 4 inches. Alright, now that we have the heights figured out, we're going to rip our material to length. It has already been planed down to 5/8. That is the thickness that you want to use on these drawer slides here. If you're buying these ones that I bought, I believe you can buy ones for wider material thicknesses. So if you wanted to use 3/4 material or something like that, you could. I believe there are some manufacturers that specify the drawer slides for a bigger width, but I'm not sure on that. These ones that I'm using, 5/8 works, so that's what we're going to go with. So we're going to start cutting all of these pieces up, and we're going to show you how we will assemble these drawer boxes. So after cutting out all the pieces, all you need to do is put a dado in all of your pieces, 1/2 inch up from the bottom, and then put some pocket hole screws on the front and back pieces of the drawer. And then now we're going to measure for the plywood bottom. It's going to be a 1/2 inch bottom on these drawers, and then we just assemble it. So let's get to cutting out the bottoms. So the last thing we did there is on the back piece of the drawer, we ripped off the dadoed piece for the bottom. And that is so we can construct the drawer, slide the drawer in there, and then just screw it in. It makes assembly a little easier, so that's why we do that. So it's basically just we're going to glue, pocket hole them together, clamp it, screw it, and yeah, so let's get to it. So I have cut the drawer bottoms the wrong size. I swear, it seems like I always do this on drawer bottoms. I can never cut them the correct size. The reason is I wasn't remembering that we're ripping off this bottom edge. So I measured it to where the normal width would be, but we need to add back this amount of length that is right there. So that means we got to recut these. But yeah, that is how the drawer looks. Luckily we have extra 1/2 inch plywood, so I can go cut more of those, but it is what it is. Let's just go and do that. And so there is our drawer. So the last thing we're going to do, screw in the bottom and then add these clips, which our undermount drawer slides connect in through. And then we'll install the drawer. So let's go ahead and put some screws in the back here. And I'm going to check these for square. Because this is a plywood bottom, we're not worried about any sort of wood movement. And because we're going to be screwing in the back here, the piece fits pretty tightly in there, so we can kind of manipulate the frame of the drawer if it's a little out of square to be square. So what I just did there was set it to square. It was a little off, and I'll put the screws in, that way it'll hold it right where I need it to be. So the screws I'm going to be using are these like 1-inch screws with a big head on it. I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 on the back of each of the drawers, and that'll be plenty to hold the drawer bottom in. So now the drawer bottom is in. This is one solid drawer with that 1/2 inch bottom. We're going to go ahead and make the other 2 drawers, and then I will show you how we install these little pieces. Super simple, and we'll put the drawer in the cabinet. So another reason I like using pocket holes for drawers is because on wider material like this, oftentimes, especially after you plane it down, it's going to want to cup one way or the other. And screws really allow you to kind of work the cup back out of the board and straighten everything back up. So that's just another reason I like using pocket holes on drawers, especially taller drawers like these ones. Simple. All you do is just screw these on just like this. I like to pre-drill these first. Before we get the final fit on the drawer, this little tab here keeps the drawer from rocking up off of the drawer slide itself. So we need to drill a hole in the back of each of the drawers for that to go into. But the way I'm going to mark that is I'm going to put the drawer in there, lightly tap it to get a mark on each one, and then we'll go ahead and drill the holes. And now we could go ahead and snap it in. Make sure it's flush with the edge of the cabinet. Now the drawer front will have bumpers, so if it's just a hair proud of that, it won't matter because those bumpers kind of hold the drawer front off a 1/16 anyways. But you really want to be flush with your face frame, if not set in a little bit. That's why when we mounted these drawer slides, we set them back about a 1/16 from the face frame. So looking from the side here, you could see that obviously there'll be a drawer face here, so you won't see any of this pocket holes or this groove here. You'll just see a nice solid piece of wood, and there's no drawer runner or anything like that to be in the way here, so just gives it a nice clean look when you pull it out. All the way out, all you see is wood, and then back here are those tabs I was talking about that hold the drawer from wanting to come off the slides, and that's just a little extra kind of safety feature. And these pieces here again help to square up the drawer with the cabinet so that it always goes in there perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of these drawers off camera because my camera's about to die, and then we'll wrap up this episode. Alright, and that's going to do it for this week's episode, and that's pretty much how I make drawers. Very simple, very easy to do, doesn't take a lot of tools. Now, there are other methods to build drawers. Obviously, dovetails are a great option. It gives a more decorative look. Definitely is a stronger joint than the pocket holes, but with the glue and screws like this, the loads that are going to be put onto this drawer itself aren't, in my experience, ever strong enough to break this. Yes, dovetails are a very strong joint, and they look beautiful. They take a lot of skill and a lot of time to do and to learn, but for kitchen cabinets and stuff like this, I prefer this method. It's just faster and easier for me to do. Again, the pocket screws are nice on these bigger drawers where you can take the cup out of a board if it has one. And these Undermount drawer slides are great. It gives a nice clean look on the end here, so there's no hardware you can see, and it's just a clean piece of a board, and there will be a drawer front that goes over this, so that hides all these pocket hole screws and everything like that. And there's also a drawer lock bit you can use where you put that on your router and you run both of your pieces through each a different way. I've never had success with those. I've always never been able to dial it in 100%. It's always just like a hair off, and can be super frustrating. And so my experience with those have not been great. That's why I do this pocket hole method. I think it's just as good. I've never tried dovetail drawers. It would definitely be something I'd be interested in learning. But I know you can buy router jigs and stuff like that to use a router to cut pocket hole or to cut dovetails to make that faster. And then obviously you can go the hand cut route. But if you're looking to make a simple, quick, and easy drawer box, this pocket hole method with the dado and with cutting the back piece shorter really just makes your drawer making very easy. I love these Undermount drawer slides. They are a breeze to install. And then we will mount the drawer faces and everything in a later video, and I'll probably go over my methods for aligning them and securing them to the drawer themselves. So if you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, if it was just entertaining to watch, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Helps out the channel a ton. And comment down below what your favorite method for making drawers is. Do you like this pocket hole method? Are you a extra fine woodworker and you do dovetails? Do you hand cut them? Do you use router? What is your preferred method for building drawers? And how many drawers do you think you've built in your lifetime? I know I've made quite a few between this business and my day job. If I had to guess, it'd be probably maybe close to 100 drawers, including these ones. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I've been trying to put out a video every week. The past 2 weeks have been episodes of this cabinet build. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. I show you how I build these base cabinets, the face frames, and how I go about building the upper cabinets. The next episode in this series will be the drawer fronts and the doors and all the finished panels. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, have a great week. Don't forget to get out there and just build something. There's no greater feeling than building something with your hands and stepping back at your work and saying, wow, you know, I built that. I created that. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. It's very satisfying to do.